Something's coming, something's coming, something's coming, something's coming. Something's coming, something's coming, something's coming. We'll get to that in the spiritual report. This is Saudi Arabia, by the way. Don't thank me because you don't want to know, but I'm going to tell you anyway. All right. Welcome back. Howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Let's get that off the screen. But before we do, and before we get to tonight's report, it's going to be very disturbing tonight, all right? So before we get to the solar images and stuff, it's important that I'm going to say this prayer first. Lord, I ask that you give my audience courage and strength to endure the knowledge that we're about to receive tonight. Give them hope, Lord, please. Okay. So what I'm about to show you is a real black hole. Okay, so everybody take a deep breath. Here we go. This right here is your black spheroid, so dense that it bends and absorbs light. You can see the plasma going over the top of it, bending around it, silhouetting it, okay? And we will go through this frame by frame, okay? But that was tonight's thumbnail, okay? And just like I've shown before, one of these captures, and, years before, here we go with another like perfect image of it. So let that sit there for a second, and we're going to talk about black holes tonight and what they are and what they're not, okay? And don't listen to certain scientific theories that are floating around, okay? What I will help you define this and everything, but what we're looking at here is very disturbing, okay? If you know what you're looking at, this is not good news. So everybody stay calm. We've seen this interaction before, all right? But we have an issue, okay? Now, what I want to do is back out of this here, get you started. While I'm doing that, no, 125, sorry. While I'm doing that, I want to thank all of you first for taking a moment of your precious time to be here with this precious family. When you're here at this precious family, you are here voluntarily, okay? When you sign in, you sign in, okay? I keep going regardless whether you come or go. If you decide to go, you're always welcome back, okay? It's sad. It saddens me to lose a family member, and they are always welcome back, okay? So let me get this going here. We need to reverse it first, and we'll let that loop play for a second here. And note this sun diving comet coming in here. It's not diving towards the sun. It's diving towards our object. Isn't it? And it's hard to see it when this is in motion. We have to go frame by frame by frame in order to catch just that right moment when it's well defined. Okay, a black hole is very, very hard to see. Plasma helps, and little indicators like this comet, or this little comet, asteroid, whatever, is not going towards the sun. Its trajectory is going towards this thing. Okay, so that's another indicator. That little comet right there, that sun diver, is a hole diver. Okay, it's not a sun diver. It's diving towards the black hole. The black hole is a round black spheroid so dense that it bends and absorbs light. Okay, it's hard to see. The only way you can see it is when plasma from the sun drapes over it. Okay, so what we're going to do here, pause, we'll catch the opening frame. Ooh, we only have 1712, is that correct? I guess we do. I guess that's all we have. Okay, so we kind of, now it seems like it's just the ring and it dissipates, right? That's what happens. So let me catch this opening frame again here. Boom. Yeah, I guess we only got a 1724, so we don't have all our data. That's okay. We have the golden frame. Whoops. All right, so we're starting already at 125. All right, so we're already missing a little bit of data already. Note our spires, they're sticking out. They act like compass needles a little bit, pointing at an inbound magnetic field. You can already see something little thing over here doing its little interaction. All kinds of other little objects are orbiting the bigger object. The bigger object's right back here. And it's either approaching the sun. I believe the sun might be approaching it, as just like that sun diving comet is approaching it, not our sun. Also, I I want you to note there is another like orbiting satellite stellar body right there, round circular one. Okay, and that's what's causing the light right here. All right, it's latched onto some plasma, but that plasma is also draping around our bigger object in the background. And what's spooky, and the last time or another time before I noticed this, is down below this thing right here. It's got like an evil smile on it. Let's go back one. I think we're tad too tight. One more. Right there. So I can use the buttons to do this next couple of frames here. Oh, wait. Can you see the mouth right here? It's like a crazy clown mouth on it. We'll zoom in on that. It's definitely kind of something that's a little weird effect on this thing. And you can make out the curvature of the black object. You can see the plasma going over it, coming off, going over it, right? You can see the light and stuff bending and curving, all right? Let me pull back. We're a little too zoomed in. I just want to kind of see if you can see that weird smile. All right, so let me back out just a tad bit more so I can use the button. Let me get you guys all measured up. All right, so can you see it now? Now, from this point on, it starts to come more towards the camera, and this plasma still going out dissipates, kind of. You lose the shape, the structure of it. You can see how big it is, can't you? That's a boom. Okay, compared to the size of this white circle, that's the size of our sun compared to this. Okay, it's much bigger. All right, and well, when it interacts with our sun, the magnetic fields interact. It rips plasma off the sun. It's basically pulling plasma off the sun. The sun isn't burping out as CME. This thing has latched on and is ripping plasma off. And then that plasma slams into it. It absorbs a lot of the energy, but other, magnetic field lines go over it. It drapes over and goes around, so it doesn't absorb all of it, but you can clearly see your invisible object made visible by the silhouetting of plasma, by the silhouetting effect of the plasma. Note over here, you can't see it. You can sure see the flow and everything, though. See our little accompanying planetoid right here? We're going past it, I think. Then you see our tapered magnetic field line, or our teardrop, and the back side of this black hole right here. Hopefully you can catch just a tad bit of that. All right. A black hole is like a stellar core. It's the core of a burned out star. It's so dense that, see that sundiver coming in? It's headed, its trajectory is going this way. It's not angled towards the sun. And then here's our object. That sundiver's going to this, not to the sun. This has more gravity than the sun has. It was attracted to this thing. Ooh, right there on the red side. All right, we'll leave it sitting right there for a second. All right, so a lot of conjecture. These astrophysicists, let's just You know who I'm talking about. Got to be careful with their names and everything. They're telling you that a black hole is a hole in the space-time continuum. What happens when you go through a black hole? You turn into it. It smashes you down so flat that your atoms fuse with it. That's what happens. You can't go through a solid lead object. I mean, it's even more solid than lead is. All right. Bulletproof. You can't go through a stellar core. It's just so dense. You can't. Electrons can't. It's that dense. All right. The electrons have gotten squeezed out. So it's important that you know that a black hole is not a hole. It's a super dense round spheroid. Okay. And that's what we're dealing with. That's what's causing our interactions with the sun. There's like 3 of these bigger objects and all their accompanying satellites. So we'll see little satellites, little things like this popping off here and there. And then we'll see a series of 1, 2, 3 of 3 of these big ones, along with all their little satellites and stuff. And these are the ones that usually cause the X flares. Depending on what angle they're at, it will cause a lower gauge flare. If it's pointing back away from us, it's not going to be our instrumentation's not going to pick up a full X10 when it's pointing away from us. All right. So there it is. There's your black hole right there. Okay. And the plasma draping over it, the flow asymmetries, okay, your fluid dynamics go into effect here, painting your target. All right. It's impossible to see a black hole. Not impossible. God can show you how. So I'm showing you the invisible. I'm making the invisible visible. Hopefully you can see what I'm talking about now. All right. Do I do it right now, Lord? Okay. So we're going to do things a little differently on this report tonight because we're addressing our subject. Okay. I got one of the best books on the market here by one of the best astrophysicists. In the back is a glossary of definitions. I've already done this before on previous shows and shown you this glossary, okay? So for now, I'm just going to read it, all right? The definition of black hole. A black hole is a superdense point in space formed by a collapsing stellar core that's more than 5 times the mass of the sun. A black hole's gravity is so powerful that even light cannot escape from it. Light cannot reflect off of it. See what I'm saying? Light can't reflect off of it. It says can't escape from it, but that means it can't reflect off of it, okay? I'm going to take this definition and simplify it down a little bit. So to redo it one more time, the normal definition, a superdense point in space formed by a collapsing stellar core that's more than 5 times the mass of the sun. Black hole's gravity is so powerful that even light cannot escape from it. Okay, so let's simplify this down a little bit. A black hole is a superdense stellar core that's more than 5 times the mass of the sun. Okay, so more than 5 times the mass of the sun. You see this circle? You see that bigger circle? How many of these do you think you could fit in there? Probably more than 5. Starting to fit the description, the definition of a black hole. Okay. But it's gravity so powerful that even light cannot escape from it. It's so dense that it can't reflect light. Light cannot escape. It's so dense that light doesn't emit from it, and the light that hits it won't bounce off. It absorbs the light, it bends the light, and any leftover light silhouettes it, okay? Now, we're going to go just a tad bit deeper here, and I want to talk to you about, where's this light? I need a little bit better. Stellar nebula. Where'd it go? That's regular nebula. Dark nebula. Where'd that one go? There it is. Okay, dark nebula. First, a nebula. Okay, a nebula is any cloud of gas or dust floating in space, ranging from a huge cloud in which stars are born to spherical shells of planetary nebulae. All right, so a nebula is a cloud of gas and dust that's floating in space. Okay, so a dark nebula is a cloud of interstellar gas and dust that absorbs light. It's a dark nebula. It's a nebula that absorbs light and is only visible when silhouetted against a cloud of stars or another type of nebula, a light source, right? So let's simplify this. A dark nebula is gas and dust. What is gas and dust? It's matter, right? Gas is matter. Dust is matter. It's a cloud of matter that absorbs light. Sounds like dark matter, doesn't it? See, everybody's looking in the wrong direction. They're thinking dark matter exists down at the molecule, down at the atom, the subatomic level. No. Dark matter is a condensate. It's been collecting so much mass, eating so many stellar cores year after, after eons, it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. The bigger it gets, the bigger its gravitational field is, the denser it gets. It's just a runaway eating machine, and it eats stars. And you're seeing it having lunch right there. Okay, so a black hole is a super dense stellar core more than 5 times the mass of the sun. It's made of dark matter that absorbs light and is only visible when silhouetted. It is only visible when silhouetted. In the definition itself, it says only visible when silhouetted against a cloud of stars, which is a light source, or another type of nebula, which would be the other light source. So you can replace cloud of stars or another nebula with light source. A cloud of dark matter that absorbs light and is only visible when silhouetted. Kind of sound like the definition of what we're looking at? Yeah. Okay, so it's pretty big too. It's got this mouth on it, like it's eating, smiling. Right? This is what I experienced on September 10th of 2017. When I first realized, we are in deep doo-doo. Okay, this image right here is the one that just gives astrophysicists a heart attack. How will it affect us? It has been affecting us for the last 7 years. Okay, we're interacting with that more and more. It used to be once every year, and then once every 6 months, and then once every 4 months, and then once every 3 months, once every 2 months, once every month. once every 3 weeks, every 2 weeks, every 1 week. Now we're 3 times a week, or every other week we get this 3 shot in a row. Now the time gap narrowing down like that, what do you think that means? Yeah, we're closing in on it. Our orbit around it, or its orbit around us, either way, is getting closer and closer and closer. It used to be 1 year it would go by, then 6 months would go by, then 3 months, then 4 months, or 2 months, 2 weeks, 1 week. See what I'm saying? Getting closer. So close that you can fucking see it. Pardon my French. Okay. Now, this is why I said the prayer at the beginning of this show. It's important you guys have the strength and courage to endure what we're talking about here. Right? So the spiritual part at the end of the show is all about, because we deal with some very disturbing topics. Nobody else will address this. They will just say, hey, it was all, look at the sun diver. Yeah, they'll keep you looking at everything else because they don't want you to know how bad the situation is. The times that we're in, if you know what I'm saying. This is the dragon, okay? This showed up 2 weeks before the Revelation 12 star alignment. 13 days before, on September 10th of 2017, 13 days before the woman stood, the dragon stood in front of the woman before the woman stood on the 10th. It stood on the 10th, and then the woman stood on the 23rd. So the dragon stood in front of the woman, and it's devouring the child. Get it? So let's continue. And now the plasma's kind of dissipated, going around it. Now it's outstretched the actual size of the sphere. Now, when we play it, let's slow it down here a little bit. All right, turn that light off now. I'm blinding the camera. All right, hopefully with that, it's the right speed to capture it, and you'll see the motion of it. See that sun diver coming in? There it is. And over here, you see the little dark patch. That's this little satellite. It's another stellar core that's rotating around this thing. It's been stripped down to the core, right? It's a stellar core that's orbiting this, this thing ripped all the atmosphere and all the water and everything and stripped this, whatever this was, down to the core. So now this core is orbiting the bigger one. Now eventually this might smash into the surface, and the gravity is so intense it just fuses into the surface. It's super, super smooth. There isn't a pore on it because it is so tightly packed. All right. It is just so dense that it's probably the slickest, smoothest object in the universe. Okay. It's like a neutron star. It also fits the definition of a neutron star. It's where it's so tightly packed, so densely packed that the electron can't orbit around the nucleus of an atom. So when the electron can't orbit around the nucleus, the electron gets kicked out. The electron is an electric charge. The opposite charge, the proton, goes with it. So when an electron leaves, it takes the proton with it, leaving only the neutron left. Tightly packed neutrons. Now, they're not as If it still had the electron and the proton, it would be a lot heavier, okay? But it's only made of neutrons, so it's not as heavy, but it is still super dense, if you know what I mean. There's a kind of a trade-off of weight for density, if you understand. So it fits the definition of a neutron star. It also fits the definition of, well, pulsar, something, or not pulsar, some of the characteristics of a pulsar, and then magnetar. Okay, it has an extremely strong magnetic field. Okay, like a magnetar does. All right, so it matches, it has a lot of qualities of other objects along with it. Okay, this is a black hole. And it looks like it's just the ring of the CME, right? Let's go back. See, as we go backwards, it looks just like a circle going backwards from its point of origin, right? Here is its point of origin, and it's expanding outward. That's what all the that's what all your CME experts think, right? Because they're only looking at it two-dimensionally. They're only seeing a round band of light right here, right? They're thinking this is an arced CME. They're only looking at the light. They don't realize that whole arc was created by this. This is what caused the CME. See the dark patch right here? This is your orbiting stellar core. See the dark patch? It's your missing light. Ooh, right there. Okay, you can see where the light jumps. It finally loses the shape right there. It's still got shape. The light has jumped a little bit, and now it expands outward. Actually, that jump frame, right? It's that one right there. Right there. It really paints this object. You can see another one hanging out right here too. All right, so there's your black hole right there, and it's got an evil smile on it. All right, so let's get on with our report. I know, take a deep breath. Everybody take a nice deep breath, calm down, because we've entertained this object before. The first time I saw it, I thought, oh, we're done. But it's for the last 7 years, well, probably even before then, we've been entertaining this object. So it's just that it's getting closer and closer and closer. Its period, its orbital period is getting shorter and shorter. Meanwhile, does that look like we interacted with a black hole today? Nope, it sure doesn't. Thankfully, I think most of the blast from that interaction is heading away, okay? But something I want to point out here, as we look, we had this nice high, M flare, long duration, kind of almost just elevated solar flux. And then it starts to decline and decline and decline. But black hole, then decline and decline. So our solar indices, all in all, have dropped. So here we are. Solar indices, 194. Remember, we were just about to break 200, so it dropped 5 points. Now, it looked like it was more than that, but dropped 5 points. Sunspot number dropped 12 points. We're down to 129 sunspots. The areas back in the green. That's okay for right now. What I do want to do is open this. Okay, so here's our sunspots, 3723. This is your beta, gamma, delta, this big rash configuration right here. I'm going just a tad bit more. All right. 3727, 3728 are surrounding this one right here, 3723. Okay, they're very spread out. There's not really strong fields configuration yet, but this is the old region 3664. It has been known to come in looking like this, and as it rotates across, gets stronger and stronger, okay? Let's pray that this third pass is not the charm that takes us out. But with what we're entertaining, we have other factors in that game as well now, right? So it's important that we kind of just take a peek of where everything's located here. Watch out for 37, 24, and 22. These two little red configurations. There's no negative, but if one does, pop up because of this activity, usually a strong positive field will create a negative or vice versa. So this one, I'm surprised, doesn't have a polar opposite. It's going to be this, I guess. But this could, flare up, and then watch out this whole area. Right here, 3727, you see blue and red really close to each other right there. So that's going to be the dangerous part of this configuration so far as it looks like. Let's back out a little bit. Ding, ding, ding. One more? Okay. All right, so we got our badass region rotating into view. Okay, geomagnetic forecast. This might change because we got some activity here. So June 28th might change here. Meanwhile, X flare potential down to 5, M flare potential 55. You see our solar indices slowly tapering off. Okay, that's good. Meanwhile, over here, this is the 3723 beta gamma delta configuration and growing. And growing. Not stable, not declining. It's still growing. All right. Stop growing. We got 3720 that's beta gamma, and it's declining. Okay. Meanwhile, your aurora's normal activity over here at your KP. We're down below 2 right now, so we're not taking on a bunch of energy, thankfully. That's good. Meanwhile, let's just open the tracker real quick before we do the report. I want to take a little peek at what's going on here. This is the different CME. The one that we just witnessed came kind of off this direction, back that way, I think. Let's pop this one. It's showing something here at stereo A, an impacted stereo A, so let that load up for a second. So yeah, we got some well, we've had other stellar bodies in our solar system for a while. They just don't want to admit to it because it would cause some problems. So there's our big CME. It's going towards us. It's not going away. So we're going to have an impact. It's showing slight impact around the 29th right there. You see stereo A is this little red dot, so it's going to hit stereo A more straight on than this one. Ooh. Stereo A. Hang on. Let's see what shot we got from stereo A. Oh, not much. Never mind. All right, back to this. It just made me think, ooh, if it's coming right at stereo A, but then it's coming right at it, you can't see it. All right, so little impact possibly on late on the 29th there. Okay, moving on. All right, right here, this little article, solar activity so far on Tuesday has been moderate levels with at least one low level M flare detected and a number of minor C flares. New regions, 3727, 3728, are in a fairly close proximity to the remains of old 64. Yep, that's what I was saying too. Okay, moderate activity could continue over the next 24 hours with low chance, 5% for a strong X flare. Okay, but meanwhile, here's your solar, I showed you the other map, but here's your configuration, normal little view there, okay? These two, here's this whole rash area, okay, so important we keep an eye on that. All right. It's our old pal, 64. Not my pal. Okay, now here we go. Geomagnetic storm launch with the minor G1 class geomagnetic storms are possible on the 28th when a CME is expected to graze Earth's magnetic field. It was launched into space during the early hours of June 25th by a black hole of magnetism in the sun's southern hemisphere. Oh, no, by an erupting filament of magnetism in the sun's southern hemisphere. Oh, okay. All righty. You know how exclusive you guys are. You know how like you guys got like top security clearance beyond magic eyes only. This is our last blast in gap of data. Okay, remember we had a strong intensive blast like this with a gap in data? This is not that gap. This is it happening again. I said, this is it happening again, identical to what just happened. Happening again. And we come out of it pretty good. Look, we're still putting along there. Got good continuity. But as you can see, something going on in our core so strong that glitched out the computer. We come back to normal. Another strong grinding session. And just being... lose the data. So, two identical situations here. And look how we came out of this one. Look how we're coming out of this one. Very similar. I bet we see another one further down the line here. Right? It'll be, I don't know. What's the measurement here? If I measured it out like this, I guess, something like that. Bingo. So, yeah, it'd be off the screen over here just a tad bit. Okay? And if that happens, what then? What if I said, look, we had one here and we had one here, we could see a third. Okay? And when it happens, I won't say I told you so. We'll just say, hey, there it is again. Okay? Because there it is again. Pressure built up way intense, dude. And that messes with your guys' emotions, physical pain. It does a number on you. Really strong blast like that of high frequency and extremely intense. Well, that can fry your brain. Magnetically fry your brain. Here's your upper jet stream flow. Yeah, look at this. What's going on right here? What's going on right there? Something taking this totally solid flow and splitting it up. It looks to be something kind of round, spherical shape right there, way up high, taking this hot cocktail and splitting it in half. So you can totally see it. I don't know. Can you? Can you totally see what's going on here? We also have this rotation, that's pulling stuff down this way, but that is a wedge, or there's a spheroid shape right there that's diverting air, dividing the flow. Okay, so that's up in your upper jet. So that's not down below. I'm wondering if that's man doing that in the upper jet stream. And we come down a little bit lower. You can still see our effects in here. I don't know, is it round? Is it sitting right there? Gee, I wonder what's going on there. And look how it diverts flow. It changes direction. It does all kinds of different things. They have different effects. They're up high. Sometimes they're down low. They're diverting winds. They're causing winds. They're pushing stuff. They're making stuff diminish. Yeah. Okay. Meanwhile, look at this flow up in the North Pacific here. Let's get down to our weather. This is your lower jet stream. Now let's go to our weather and see what kind of effects that's causing in our weather. Look at this storm right here hitting Alaska. This is a hurricane hitting Alaska or something. This is a pretty powerful storm up here. Whoa. We'll go over to Venture Sky and maybe take a peek at what's really going on here. Because that's a very well-organized, powerful storm. You see this ribbon of intense wind that it's causing between our main vortex down below here. Remember we saw these two storms? This one seems to dissipate. Remember we saw, stuff coming in and going right down the coast? This storm came in. I thought it was going to cross the country. It seems to, dissipate right at the coast. It's like there's a wall or something right there blocking the wind. Can you see it? See this wall right here? This black wall right here of nothingness? Notice how stuff comes up and goes around it and comes up almost like it is a wall, like an eddy. See this whipping around effect? That's an eddy. That's like your fluid dynamics. Some kind of protection, maybe. But meantime, wow, dude. Let's see what else is going on around here. Oh, what? Oh, what? Let's just move on for a minute. We'll come back and address this. We'll go over to Venture Sky. Before we get too deep into this topic right here, we need to get over to Venture Sky first. Let me finish reporting here at Null School. Yeah. Very good, Marcia. Very good. I will protect you. Know that. Okay? It's part of the test. Okay? You're being tested, and the way you get tested the hardest is by your family. I'm being tested too. I'm losing my family too, okay? It's part of the process. Okay? Remember, Jesus is your family. You should love him more than the people that are leaving you. Okay? You got someone to fall back on that loves you way more. Okay? Meanwhile, we got to continue. I love you, Maria. We can chat more at the end. These people in this chat room here too, Maria, you can hang with them. They love you. Oh my goodness, you are in the right room. All right, so let's get particulates. Yes, Lord, thank you. Whew. You have to bear with me. Been a long day. Maria can relate. It's been a hard day, huh, Maria? Marcia, I mean. Look at this. It's really stretched all the way across. Very intense here at Dominican Republic. It's marching its way in towards the Gulf here. Okay. I'm going to put the wind back on because usually we're reporting our sandstorms over in Europe and in China and in India and in Saudi Arabia. But tonight we're reporting on our sandstorms in the Dominican Republic and Haiti, okay? We got us a pretty intense sandstorm heading towards there, don't you say? Don't you think? Or wouldn't you say? And by the wind patterns, you see this little tearaway right here. There's a little wedge pulling some this way, and then the rest of the flow going up into the Gulf. So I expect to see this thing split in half. You can see the ram's horns type effect pulling back as this thing splits in half. Half of this is going to go up in there and half is going to go up the East Coast. Watch. Okay. Our ongoing sandstorm since November of last year, screaming there's something wrong with the planet. Meanwhile, we got over here in Saudi Arabia, Oman, and Yemen, Gobi Desert in China. Up here we have activity as well. I'm going to switch over now to a different particulate size that's similar, but it shows up in red to give you a better idea of how widespread and what's going on. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, back to our sandstorm and our particulates and stuff. All right, you can see how widespread this is. These are particulates, right? Look, we are on particulates, the micron size. All these particulates add to the sponge capacity of the air. It's like increasing the capacity that the sponge can hold, all right? The more particulates in the air, the more water the air can hold, all right? The higher water content the air will hold. And you can see we're having issues all through that region. Okay, now let's get on over to our SO2 report. This is sulfur dioxide emitting from the ground because magma down below is pushing up to the underside of the crust. It wants to come out through the perforations in the ground. But there's the gas in the way first, and these perforations are really small. So we got this country divided here. It's bleeding out on one side. You got SO2 coming out of the ground all over the place. The other side's kind of patchy, hit and miss, kind of emitting from volcanic sites and stuff, all right? Go in a little bit. You can kind of pick your region real quick, see where, you know, the gas is emitting near you or near your vicinity. Flooding issues have kind of receded, and now we're back to full-on pumping. All right, there's no patches where it's not coming out. We have a pretty strong plume coming out of this region, I'm noticing right here. Good little plume coming out of just out of Salt Lake City right here. Okay. Some of these plumes up here are very strong. Let me touch base with the fires real quick, because this gas emitting from the ground is so hot, it sparks fires. It comes out at, you know, thousands of degrees hot, and will cause vegetation in the area to spontaneously combust. All right, so a lot of your fires this fire season that people are thinking, oh, it was sparked by the dew weapons or something like that, is not the case. A lot of these fires are being sparked underground because the pressure down below is built up. It's pushing magma up, hot gases up, so hot that they spark fires from underground. You will see trees catch on fire at the root structure. All right. I've already witnessed burned down trees that have the root structure hole blackened into the dirt. How does the root burn down in the dirt unless it was started from underground? And then if you look at the bottom side of a tree with all the roots fanning out and down, it's a conical shape on the underside of the tree. On the bottom side of the trunk, when you're looking at the root structure, it's a conical shape which would funnel heat towards the center of the tree, sparking the fire in the center of the tree instead of on the outside. The tree will start on fire from the middle out, and you from the root structure down, you know, first, and then from the middle out. And that's why you see these trees catching on fire in the middle and not on the outside. You understand now? Here's some of that activity causing fires here in Alaska. See what I'm saying? See what I mean, Jelly Bean? let me kick off these fires because when we have other countries over here, they use fires to cook their meals and stuff. So when we leave the fires on over here in India and China, it looks like the whole country's on fire. Let's go back to their time zone. There we go. All right, so we still got good pressure going on. We just had another grinding session, an intense one. So something relieved a bunch of pressure that built up. And meanwhile, we still have a fair amount of pressure hanging around. This is our usual coloration kind of. Let me get into Java here. Okay, really dark up here, the northern end. Got some good darker plumes down this way. All in all, the whole island is a pretty good dark purple. Look at Sumatra darkening up a little bit, all right, as well as up here in Malaysia. Your archipelago has SO2 emissions at a lot of the volcanic sites through there. Some of these regions right here on the coast of Australia. Even Tasmania got a couple of little spots, okay? Before I go, where? Huh? Oh, yeah, the island. Okay, yeah, the island here. So our deep quakes originate around Fiji here. The entrance to the system is like right around here. Okay, so this island that's just off of our tectonic plate system going up is a relief valve right there, okay? No, not yet. Now we're going. Oh. Duh, we forgot to do this. All right, everybody take a deep breath. Lord, give them strength to endure what we're going to cover here. Righty. Okay, now to your hot water anomaly report. As you can see, this region out here starting to gain strength again, grow in size, grow in intensity out here in this Pacific. This was one all solid yellow bar until something up here like popped. We had a new perforation in the crust that relieved pressure in the area, but now pressure's building again, and this little new spot isn't enough. We've got another spot that opened up inside the bay here now, okay? Oh, no. Don't tell me that it's circling around that. Eh? Oh, it's... What? Are we on the right day? No, we're not. That's why it didn't look right. I'm like, where's that hurricane that was out there? There it is. Do you see why they changed the date? Do you see why when I came over here, it was set on a different date and I had to double check? Mm-hmm. That right there. Now, oh. So, let's go back to my bad. What happened here is on the ocean one, to make the map is a couple of days behind, right? But one more. That rotation was over this hot spot. Hurricane hitting Alaska because of this hot spot right here. Or whatever storm this is, however it grows in intensity or whatever. We're going to go over to Null School. Venture Sky. Meanwhile, we got a lot of hot water around the Gulf of Alaska. I need to take the wind down for a second so we can report. Then we'll put it back up. So a lot of hot water growing around Alaska. We have a new perforation in the crust that's causing a big storm up there. Meanwhile, we got all this bar area growing in intensity, it probably causing a stronger rotation here, keeping everything off the coast. Going back this way, we have still this huge plume off of Japan right there. All kinds of, underwater volcanic activity going on. Say goodbye to North Korea. It will melt in a moment here. We'll just have a little island right here. Down here, we have pressure building up around our fulcrum point, okay? We did see a little quake activity out of here, keeping it out of the yellow range, okay? So our fulcrum point does its job. It pressure builds, but then it releases it because it's a weak spot in the crust, right? It's our fulcrum point. It's two plate boundaries at a sharp angle. So that weak spot reduces pressure in this area, and you can see pressure's building again. So we'll expect some quake activity out of the fulcrum point at Taiwan, okay? Not going to say what day and what magnitude, but we will experience more activity there, okay? That's why. All right, so here's the island of Java. Your cold water inundation around this region just because of all the pressure released through the region, okay? You see red growing along the side of Sumatra, pressure building in that region. It was a little stronger. It looks like maybe we had a little release in that area because we were starting to see a little bit of yellow growing in that region. So we may have had a little release in energy there, but you still got all these little other hot spots out in the Indian Ocean. Look at this down on the southern hemisphere. Okay, they're in winter time. Between the Cape of South Africa and Antarctica in the wintertime is some of the coldest water in the world, and they are having hot spots. It wouldn't be surprised me if we see a hurricane brew down here in the middle of winter. We just saw a Category 5 hurricane brew right here, or further down here where our anomaly is, right? The anomaly is not a hot water anomaly. It's a different gravitational anomaly that created some vortex down here. Meanwhile, we got all these hot water patches growing off of South America here, up by Brazil and stuff. Here's your cold water going La Nina on us. Meanwhile, right here, look at this little cold plume that just growing right here. Are you kidding me? We need that so bad. This, just a small little drop of cold water could cool this a lot. Where did that come from? That's new. We had a hot spot right here. We had a hot spot right here that was causing rotation and causing storms right here. I bet you we see a stoppage of that kind of effect with the cold water right here. Just a little bump like that could diffuse. Look how much it's diffusing it already. See the coloration? This was all red not too long ago. Let's go. Let's do our little map comparison here. Okay. Okay, well, it's still in frame pretty much. Let's go back just a couple days. No, let's go back. We're watching this little blue dot right there when I hit it. Okay. See, ooh, it had just started a couple of days ago. Let's go back one more. I want to see where it started. All right, so right around the 20th, we started to get this little cold spot growing here. All right, and since the 20th, what were we, 25th? Since then, now watch this little blue dot grow. Whoops, or don't. It should grow in size. And I go too far, I guess. Yeah. So yay, some cold water growing in off the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula here, causing this area to cool off a little bit. little cold water inundation in this area too. Meanwhile, this is growing. Okay. Over here to the Atlantic, we have a major issue going on over here by the East Coast. All right. This plume over here, something growing off the coast here. Okay. A lot of hot water on the East Coast of upper East Coast. From like well, this point on up, North Carolina on up there. All right. This is all supposed to be Arctic Ocean, nice and cold. Look at this happening in the bay here. Oh, in Hudson Bay. Okay, all the way out here, the Atlantic is warming up. We still got one little cold patch right here, but what's happening is we're having so much hot water and so much, it's so intense that it's affecting the air currents. And now I'm going to put the winds back on, and you will see the correlation between the heat signals and your air patterns. Okay, and these heat signatures are causing rotation, which causes storm tracks. Okay, conveyor belt type structures where stuff travels over, comes back down, it'll regain strength down here, come off as a hurricane, go up, around, down, and you see this round rotation happening. We have a center point of rotation right there where my arrow is. Roughly right where my arrow is, probably right up there. Okay. But it's cause of that heat plume right there. See that mean heat plume coming out of it's probably hot nickel coming out of the mid-Atlantic ridge, okay, which is a zipper that is, unzipping and letting out a bunch of magma, and it's heating up the Atlantic Ocean. This is our hurricane generation spot. So we could see throughout, the process here, a conveyor belt system with evenly spaced hurricanes along this whole conveyor belt. So imagine 10 hurricanes rotating around this, all evenly spaced. So when it comes up to here, it hits 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, and then it just keeps going because they're all rotating around this center of rotation here, right? Then we could possibly entertain a hurricane that's this right here. This one big hurricane, and the eye wall would be the outer structure of the rotation, right? So you'd be seeing straight line winds at 200 miles an hour racing around the outside of this. Let's pray it doesn't get that developed, okay? But how quickly we have gotten this far this early in the season. Let's just pray we get a cold water inundation event like down here, all right, or a perforation in the crust that relieves pressure. Stuff like that could relieve pressure. We had this big yellow bar and it diminished. So it is possible. Okay, it is possible for regions that are going yellow to cool off a little bit if we get a new perforation in the crust that relieves pressure in the area, right? Right? Okay. What it could have done is put our own little relief valve in somewhere up here where it doesn't affect anybody with a, gauge. We could control our own pressure releases. But I guess man's not they're more interested in destroying instead of saving. So, anyways, you can see that this plume has caused its own little conveyor belt system, and it has storms that ride the top of it. We had 3 evenly spaced storms shifting up towards this, then new rotation back in here. So this big old long strip of heat starts kicking up storms, and they ride this conveyor belt. And we could see the same kind of conveyor belt type system of typhoon after typhoon after cyclone, just striking all of these places as it comes along, bam, comes along, boom. Imagine, 10 evenly spaced hurricanes or typhoons rotating around a big conveyor belt structure like this. Okay. It's increased in size and color. Everything has. We got more pressure. I showed you the grinding on the Schumann here. We had this happen again. That's intense. It's way off the chart. It's a lot of pressure, resulting in a lot of hot water, or a lot of magma coming out of the ocean floor. We have a lot of volcanoes on the surface above water. Well, we have a lot of volcanoes on the surface below water, because that's still the surface of the planet. It just has water sitting on top of it. Okay, so volcano activity popping up all around the globe, even underwater. Okay, and the underwater volcanic activity induces crazy weather as well. So we have other factors in our weather as well, don't we? We have multiple factors in our weather, don't we? Okay, let's move to... Do it? No. Let's move on to the earthquakes now. We'll come back. We got some other stuff to go back there and cover a little bit. But for right now, we got to move on. Please, Lord, let the USGS. Thank you. I literally have to pray on my computer because, if you only knew. All right, 4.8 down at 548. There's your deep quake for the day right there, showing pressure down below at depth. 4.8, 548. A little higher than our regular magnitude. We usually see 4.5, so tad increase. Now, as we enter the system right here, here's that island that relieves a lot of the pressure. The SO2 emissions right here is like a slow leak in a bike tire. So any pressure that's coming in this way gets relieved right here, weakening it as it comes up. So usually mid-range 4 creates 5 at the surface. So this is going to be a little higher than a 5 at the surface. Diminished by this should be right around 4.6. And that's on a fulcrum point. You see the bend in this? When energy has to change direction like that, it creates, a focal point where it focuses, creating a fulcrum point. Okay? Focal and fulcrum are very similar. Okay? The fulcrum right here has focused energy to a point. 4.6 down at 79. Very quiet through here. We have volcanic activity in the region. This as well, very quiet. We come over here to our deep region. Same energy. 4.6 at the surface, relieving energy. Look at this. Remember I was saying there was probably something happened over here, so let's see what happened. 5.6 at 10 right there is relieving energy. That's why the color diminished in there. This as well. This is 4.5, and that's at 10 too. So you had a magnitude higher than this one on both plates. I'd say that relieved some of the energy in the area, didn't it? And that's why we saw a drop off of coloration. Now, there's nothing over here at Taiwan, and we've been seeing the color, grow in intensity here. So something needs to snap here. Now, this is where you would try to make your forecast, right? You would say, okay, we have pressure building in the region. We have a fulcrum point. I would expect to see a quake here very soon, probably in the magnitude. What's this up here? A 5.4. And we had this over here, 5.6. It's in between the two. I would say 5.5. Now let's see if we get a 5.5 here at the fulcrum point, okay? I'm not going to try to predict it, but that's how I would do it. That's exactly how I would do it. I would say, well, we got this kind of energy over here at a weak spot coming out of 5.4. And over on this plate over here, another weak spot, we see the same kind of energy being a 5.6. Well, in between those two spots, well, what's in between 4 and 6? Pretty good. It's what I'm doing. Just saying. We might see a mid-range 5 right there. Okay. Meanwhile, nothing through this region. We have all that hot water emissions. We have, well, vents on the floor here, relieving energy, pressure in the region. Meanwhile, over here, these little volcanic islands, 4.5, 3.7. Not so much on the islands today. This is underwater. Remember yesterday we saw all island activity, all volcano activity, earthquake activity around volcanoes? Not today, a different scenario. Pressure down below, pushing up under the plate. .9 there. That's 4 energy still kind of rolling through this area. Let's see, we got a fulcrum. Oh, we'll have to switch over to all magnitudes. Let me finish off the rest of the world here. Ooh, that didn't sound... Let me finish off the rest of the world here. Here's a 5-0 at a depth of 10 on a plate boundary, relieving energy. Semi-fulcrum, 4.2 down at 95. Let's take a peek up here, 4.6. Is that on land? Yes, sir. Nope, not a volcanic site, but it looks like, yeah, little river weakness in this region right here. This is all, well, undercut with water, undermined a little bit, you know, so it creates for weak soil, weak ground. Up here, let's see if we've had a jump of magnitude. Mid-range 3 still up there. That's good. Right here, 4.9. This could be creeping up this way. We'll see here in a minute. I think we got everybody else finished up, right? Okay, now we can go all magnitude and dive into the USA. All right, so back up here where we left off, energy coming in. Let's see what made up to the fulcrum point. Okay. What's that? This looks a little volcanic feature right here. And on the flank of it, this little activity. Mount Rainier, Mount St. Helens with an explosion, huh? Okay. Energy came in at our fulcrum point here, 3.0 at California at a depth of 18. We also have this pressure runs right along this line. When it curves like this, it wants to go in a straight line. So it curves, creates a fulcrum point here. If there is no release here, energy would push inland, and that's still kind of in line with our energy coming in at this angle. So this is a new weak spot that we have been seeing grow, and we're seeing microquake activity there. That's good. That helps relieve pressure in the region. Here we have another little quake here in a new region. All right, now the geysers, multiple microquakes, relieving a lot of pressure in the area. Okay, that's good. We like to see that. That diminishes the pressure as it comes in to the Bay Area. Now, here we are at the Bay Area. We have, again at this site, on the tip of this little peninsula here, we've had one here before, and now we're seeing another one there. It's 1.6, nothing big, but it's showing that there's weakness in that area. There's a path of least resistance through there. Even up into this region as well, up into Concord. All right, so as we go down the San Andreas, it's dumping off 3.2, 1.7 energy. We got a little swarm action going on down here. Not a big swarm, but, you know, here's a bunch of little microquakes right here, relieving energy at that spot. All kinds of sporadic, scattered, similar pressure in the region. All, you know, similar mid ones. See it all kind of dispersing. What's that? A 2. And then nothing else until we get down to here. All right. Now, looking over at Texas, we all understand what's going on there. There's nothing around your New Madrid and nothing up through the upper East Coast. All right. Oh, let's make a stop off at Hawaii. Got some precious friends that live there. Hopefully she comes back. 3.2 down at 44. 2.4. All kinds of little mid-range 2s and stuff. So when we get pressure that comes in and it goes off around the ring of fire, you know, our volcanoes, our earthquakes, our tectonic plates, this whole ring of fire is like a rim of a bicycle. And in the middle of the rim is a hub. So this is the hub of the Pacific Rim. So when pressure comes in, it goes all the way around the hub and then all the way around the rim and then, you know, also at the hub. All right, so there we go. Ooh, something above Iceland here. A 4.4 to depth of 10. So we're seeing pressure being relieved here on the mid-Atlantic ridge right above Reykjanes. This would keep the eruptions down here too when pressure gets relieved earthquake-wise. So a couple of 4s right there just above Iceland help diminish the volcanic activity there. And that also shows that pressure came in too. If we're seeing earthquake activity up there, we had a good round of pressure come in. And I think that does it. Let me take some of these down. Take that one down and that one. And we'll get into the volcano report here. Let me take that off too. All right, Lord, let the volcano page work, please. Please help the volcano page tonight. Yay. 34 erupting, 27 in warning, and 25 in unrest. That's 61 active volcanoes. Now, if I'd have told you 10 years ago that we'd have 61 active volcanoes, you would have said, Brian, you're still crazy. So let's just get into it. Here we are. This is the Luatolo. A nice little map here at Luatolo. We'll have to come back and check this out maybe a little later. I got to get the report done here. So here we are at Karaminski. You can see the little plume grow right there. All right, so Karaminski had a 19,000-foot blast. Our new little player on the list is playing pretty strong, isn't it? That's a good little blast. That's that pressure that we saw on the Schumann resulting at the surface. Now, Luatolo. States ballistic impacts of volcanic bombs. Listen to this. Based on the latest Fusion instrumental monitoring data, a decreased activity of the volcano led to a lowering of the alert level to stage 3. The warning bulletin states that ballistic impacts of volcanic bombs, pyroclastic flows, and debris avalanches could affect an area of about 2 kilometers. Yeah, just your volcanic bombs, just watch out for those volcanic bombs. Home Reef still going off. Okay, it's oozing magma. Fuego, probably a good blast out of there. Reventador, 14,000. Now let's go into today, that is now yesterday. There's a quick little look at your map at all these active volcanoes. Look how many are going on in this whole region right here. All right, we got 5 of them up there. We got Redefining, Strombolian Etna, Urda Ale. This is Michael. This is Villarica. All these Nevada del Ruiz, Reventador, Cotopaxi, all through that region. Popocatépetl right next to Mexico City. We got this great Sitkin volcano out there, the Home Reef. That's the Home Reef one that we're reading about. And then don't forget, clear down here in the corner is an active volcano on Antarctica. Sweep it under the rug. Next. Redefining going off. Cessation of recent eruption. Okay, probably because we've had some earthquake activity. Karaminski, 12,000 feet. IBU, 15,000 feet out of IBU. Reminds me of taking ibuprofen because I write down on my notes sometimes IBU. All right, back to business. Luatobi, 10,000. Semaru, 15. Fuego, 16. Look at that. 10, 15, 16. Reventador, probably a good one out of there. 26 out of Sabancaya. And there's much more activity going on. That was a pretty short report. I show you those lists that go on and on and on and on. We have a lot more than just this going on. So there's your quick volcanic report. And a lot of our pressure that comes in has been venting through volcanoes more so than through our earthquakes. We still see some decent earthquake activity, but some of our pressure issues, when they come in really strong, get vented through the volcanic system instead of the plate tectonic system. Okay. Go ahead and hit this and let this load up. Okay, weather is really wonky now. So doing this report is almost kind of, it can be deceiving because it makes you think the storm's going to hit here and it hits somewhere else, right? We're seeing different activity than what is being shown on the map. We do see our regular correlation sometimes. The weather does pan out like it says, but we do have other players in the game that have thrown a loop into our weather and how it works. We're seeing more hot air coming up this way, right? So hot air needs cold air to produce severe weather. Well, when there's so much hot air in this region, the cold air is up here. So you're seeing your thunderstorm activity starting to creep up north, and we're seeing a new pattern shift because we're seeing air mass collisions, hot and cold air mass collisions sparking severe weather as opposed to thermally induced convection from the sun. Okay. Let's just back up here a little bit. As well as our spheroids guiding and directing, splitting and dividing, steering. I've sat and watched this activity for a while, just not recording it, just studying these spheroids, this activity, and they are doing multiple things. They're moving like chess pieces. They're directing weather. It's almost like an orchestra. These things come in different size, different dimension, different diameter, doing different things, causing rotation, all kinds of other stuff. So here we go. This is our current conditions the night of 25th. All right. Severe weather in the center part right here of the country, up here as well. We're going to go into the morning hours. Now, note how it went and got intensified in this region through the morning hours because the air got cold. The sun went down, the air got cold, warm air came up, mixed in that cold air, and created convection on its own by the air mass collisions. These spheroid activity will draw moisture, draw these things together and guide them. It'll take a clump like this and then start moving it this way or guiding it that way. And when you see the actual event, a sphere that has grabbed a hold of some weather and is tracking in a certain direction, you can tell where it's going to go. You can put a line through the middle of the sphere and it'll point right to where it's going, and then you can see where it's going to hit hours later. And there was one that would hit Houston, Texas, and I saw it coming hours before and tried to warn everybody, but it's different now. Things are different. So here we're at morning of the 26th, intensification. Noon, it's so hot the sun burns it off instead of creating convection sometimes. So we could see this burn off, but you still see a fair lump of moisture. If it doesn't burn off, this could be severe still. See what happens at sundown? We do see proper convection during the daytime, and it's severe. It's right here in Arkansas, reaching up through this region. So the entire Ohio Valley, not just necessarily certain spots. And that could shift. It's just very volatile right now. Everything is just so volatile. So we see severe weather down here at the tip of Florida too. And that's going to be the convection tomorrow. So sundown tomorrow, everybody, severe weather again tomorrow at sundown. Then it goes nocturnal. We still have severe weather at night. Back up in here, Wyoming, Nebraska area, down here, Arkansas, possibly Mississippi. That could pull back into Texas. Don't think just because it's out of that line. Where you see green is where it could go yellow too. All right. It's just very, very volatile these days. So hopefully it stays like this. I would love to just see it, stay like that, not intensify any more than that. Now, that's nighttime activity tomorrow night. As we go into the morning of the 27th, it dies off. There's noon, convection, a little bit along the coast right here, back up in here. But you see this big old low right here. There's severe weather right up there with snow right next to it. So thunder snow possible in the convection, the afternoon hours up in Canada. Okay. Nighttime. Look at that. That is a nasty looking pinch off right here, ripping back around like this. You see all the severe weather that's being produced by this ripping back effect like this. All right. So this is going to be our dangerous event right here. Nighttime of the tomorrow night. Well, yeah, tomorrow's going to be the 26th. The day after tomorrow night. Watch out up here in Canada, you guys up here, all right? North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Kansas. There's a patch in each state going down. This whole thing, it only shows, moisture down to here. You see these millibars continue on down. This could reach and fill in these millibars. See how it's almost connecting right here? That could fill in very easily. Okay, I pray it doesn't, but there is your nighttime of the 27th. So if you're in those regions, watch, prepare. Now, as we go into the morning time, you see intensification up here in Canada. This rotation of this pinch off right here is going to be intense. You're going to see a possible strong rotating tornado up there if that happens. Okay. Meanwhile, you have your quasi-linear kink, a linear and then a kink. And at that point right here, you see possibility for severe weather at the point and then down here towards the tail a little bit. And that's morning time activity. Going into the noon of the 28th, convection, nighttime, morning of the 29th. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 30th. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 1st. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 2nd. See this morning activity? Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 3rd. Noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 4th. noon, convection, nighttime of the 4th, nighttime of the 4th of July, right there. Morning of the 5th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 6th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 7th. All right, we're a little further out there now, so this stuff will all change. But you can kind of see a similar pattern going there. All right, let me go ahead and hit play. And we'll just let that move through. All right, so we got severe weather happening in different places because of different effects. All right, we have a thermal effect from the water. We have heavier rains because of particulates. We have spheroid activity, diverting winds. We have just so many factors. We have the spiritual realm as a factor as well. Okay, so multiple factors. That's why it's so volatile. You know, we have these computer models, but the computers aren't adjusting for CME impact that can, enhance storm productivity. They're not taking into consideration if there's going to be a spheroid object in this area diverting weather to another area. So it's important that you learn how to read your skies yourself. Stay alert as far as the progress of the weather in your area during the course of a day. It's good to stick your head out during the course of a day. Take a peek at the sky. Okay, everything's looking good. Okay, good. You take a peek at the sky later, and all of a sudden some black clouds have moved in, and you're like, whoa, I thought we were good today. And then you go back in for a while, you come out, and it's thunderstorms, and you're like, I better start looking at my weather app and make sure that there is not a severe warning or something heading my way. Okay, because the weather is starting to kill people. All right, it's doing major devastation and it's causing headaches. I also want to go over to Venture Sky now. Let me pull that up, and we're going to take a peek at our storms here on Venture Sky. Not now, please. Okay, give it just a second as it loads up here. Okay. I want to come over to the radar. Wow. This is quite a storm that's growing up here, and it's not a hurricane, but we got quite a good vortex going on up here that's created by that hot spot, and it's creating a storm up here. Meanwhile, here in the central part of the country, we have some severe weather through this region right now. Let's go over and see what was approaching Ireland here. All right, that is a pretty healthy storm right there approaching Ireland. Not a hurricane, but that's a pretty strong storm. So you folks there in London and Ireland, UK and everything, you got something coming your way. Meanwhile, this is spinning around up there in the Gulf. You got severe weather down here as well. Down by our thing here. Let's go over to the sea thing. That's where this is the setting where you would see that anomaly. I think they pretty much canceled all that stuff out. So if anything ever shows up, it probably wouldn't be anymore. The freaking moon twists in the sky now. Only twists 7 degrees before. Baby Brian will speak on the topic for us. Would love to hear his input on what topic. Where are we going? Let's see. Southern Grace. You said maybe Brian will speak on this topic for us. And which topic were we talking about there? Because eclipse, the event in September. The event in September. Well, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll discuss it as we get close. Okay. Meanwhile, our storm activity isn't all that bad. I thought we were going to see. Let me get back to the radar here real quick. Okay, our event in September coming up. Well, they're talking about an impact, right? And well, these objects bring in a lot of other things with them, right? And we'll be interacting with debris fields. Okay, we will be entertaining debris fields at some point. Okay, and the way things are looking and the way things have started, and according to the Bible, we're looking at the time frame as all lining up in September. Okay, maybe even September 11th, somewhere like that. We'll see. It really is up to God. He's watching, controlling all this. All right, so there's your right. About we're entertaining big old stellar cores. We're entertaining black hole. We are orbiting it or it's orbiting us. Either way, we're having plasma exchanges with an extremely big, powerful object. So powerful that it has other things rotating around it, right? It has satellites. You see all these satellites. Well, say one of these planets gets ripped apart by the big black hole, right? All that debris gets slams into the surface. Some might fly away. So there might be a debris tail behind such a object or around it being held in a gravitational ring around its equator. Okay, all kinds of different possibilities, but we're going to entertain some very devastating effects on this planet from this object. Okay, we're caught in the gravity well of a black hole. All right, this is a celestial signpost. Remember I was telling you about celestial signpost last night and how this Revelation 12 star alignment was a celestial signpost? Well, if you knew how to read the sign that was on that celestial signpost, there was a sign on that signpost and it said, "Warning, you've just crossed the event horizon. You've just crossed the event horizon." That was your signpost. You've entered into a region of space now. If you can see that structure, that configuration, that means you've reached a certain point of space. To travel in space is to travel in time. So if you see that configuration, you are at a certain point of space and time, right? And the Bible tells you that it'll be a certain time and a certain space. So the Revelation 12 star alignment is much like this. It's a celestial signpost. Okay, I explained to you how the dragon appeared before the woman, right? This object showed up September 10th, 13 days. So it stood before she stood in the sky, all right? The celestial signpost said a black hole. You've crossed the event horizon. You're in the end of this, right? There's no going back. We're stuck in the gravity well, and ever since we've been interacting with this thing with shorter and shorter time intervals. You take those time intervals and you throw them into a mathematical equation. Okay, you see the quickening of the pace of the return, and it's more than just this one. There are two other big ones just like this. All three of them we interact with like a 1, 2, 3 punch, and I believe this is the third right here, because it's this third one that It's not the biggest one, but it's this one that's nemesis. It's the central one or the strongest one or whatever, okay? And this little orbiting body was the one that had the wings coming off of it, plasma wings. It could have been this one, or it has a orbital body that orbits it that, well, when it interacts with the sun, shows some plasma wings, all right? So we're kind of, well, how do I put this? I guess I'll have to kind of tell you guys about the dream I kept having, all right? I had to go seek therapy because I was having this reoccurring dream of looking down at a car sitting on the railroad tracks, right? And I'm up on a hill, and I got a higher vantage point. I can see the car. It's stuck on the tracks, by the way. It's just sitting there. From my vantage point, I can see that the tracks go into a tunnel and come out the other side of this little small ridge, and the tracks continue on, and out in the distance is a train coming. And I can see this train coming, and I know it's going to go into the tunnel. And by the time it comes out of the tunnel, it'll surprise the people that are sitting on the tracks. So I run down to the car and I start pounding on the window. Hey, you guys are sitting on the tracks. There's a train coming. And in the dream, the people laugh. No, we're not sitting on tracks. There's no train. And I'm like, what? Yeah, you are. You're sitting on a railroad. Look out the window of your car. Look down on the ground. You guys are stuck on the tracks. But I can't get these people to look out the window and look because they're so buried in their cell phone. And I'm like, oh my God, come on, the train's coming. I can see it go into the tunnel. I can see the light coming from the end of the tunnel. I know the train's coming and it's going to collide with this car. The people refuse to cooperate. They will not look away from their phone. Again, this dream reoccurs over and over and over. I'm back down there again, pounding on the window. Now, the people in the car are like, oh, God, here he is again. Train guy. Oh, there's a train coming. Yeah, you're on the tracks. Yeah, I know. We're on the tracks. We're going to have a train coming. Yeah. And they're mocking me. And I'm just going, what? But no, really, you guys, if you could just see from my vantage point, you would see that you're sitting on the railroad tracks and there's a train coming through the tunnel. But no recognition, no. And then finally, I had a breakthrough. I realized that in this dream, they're looking at their phones. They don't care if they're about to get hit by a train or not. They really don't care. They don't. What they're looking at on their phone is more important than life itself. So I finally get intrigued enough to find out, because the doctor's like, well, I mean, what is it? What is it? And I finally figured out I need to see what it is that they're looking at on their phones. That's what it is. So a couple days later, the dream happens again, but this time I go down there, I do the regular pounding on the window, let them mock me and stuff, so I can peek through the window and see what they're looking at. Finally, I get a peek at their phones, and what they were watching is going to blow your mind. All of them are watching YouTube videos of trains hitting cars that are stuck on the track. They're watching the very video of the situation that they're stuck in. They can't look away from the video to see that they're stuck in the very same situation, that they're getting entertainment out of the people's death. They're watching the car get smashed and they're laughing. Oh, dude, that was a gnarly one. And then something hits their car, and dude, it was a gnarly one. All because they couldn't look up from their phones. They would not listen to somebody warning them, hey, you're stuck on the tracks. There are railroad tracks called an orbit, right? Okay, you're stuck on the tracks. There's a train coming. Whether you can see it or not, trust me, there's a train coming. Maybe it's in a tunnel, and maybe all you can see is a little bit of light, and you can't make out a train. But trust me, I can see over the other side of the ridge. I saw it was a train, and it was coming and going into the tunnel to where you couldn't see it. It was going to pop out of the tunnel and surprise you. I have done so much work on this. You're looking at a black hole. You're looking at dark matter. This is the spiritual realm too, as well. Okay. So we have our situation now, don't we, folks? And it's important that you know that it's not the end. It is a new beginning. All right. That's why it's important that we understand what's going on here. Oh, I want the photos. They messed up my GIF. I can't believe they destroyed that. It used to flick back. We're going to just go right to the actual pictures. For that one. Oh, I got tons of good photos today. There was another event in the same area. I was taking pictures of the same part of the sky today with another display that is disturbing. I'm used to this stuff. I'm used to seeing this stuff every day, everywhere I go, right? And what I saw today was disturbing. And I thought, oh my God, if it's a good thing that the public can't see this, because if they saw what was going on, they would have been freaking out, right? So it's important that you understand this stuff is going on, that this doesn't freak you out. This is what comforts you, seeing this, because this is real. This is a real event that took place on Easter. I explained the best I could last night with our dot to dot of what happened to me, okay, what I experienced. It's not it's just what I experienced. It's not like a made up story. I'm not trying to, I'm just trying to document what happened to me, what happens to me. So when I try to help someone, they will understand where that help is coming from. Okay. Whew. Oh, that was a lot of word sandwich there, huh? All right, we'll kind of leave it on this image, I guess, right here, because we get to see some of the regular ones up here, right? They're nice and clear, and then here it is rotated, so you don't have to turn your head. Okay. And this was an hour-long event that just kept going and turned into a little lion face and everything that we've seen before. So now I'm just going to pull up some images here. Real quick before we do that. This also, right here is another event with our object. Okay, this was back on April 9th of 2023. Okay, so the sun does interact with this object before, and we're still here. All right, so don't let it rattle you too much, because we interact with it a lot. It's just that you need to understand what the heck it is. All right, so now back to where I was with my little gifts. No. Oh, oops. That one right there. All right, there we go. It's probably a good little image right there. All right, so I'm just a normal guy trying to live my life, and all kinds of weird stuff starts happening to me, and I'm like, what? So I start documenting it, right? And some of it is so disturbing that, I go to seek some help, right? Well, help isn't help when they don't listen to you or believe you. So how do you get help from somebody who can't help you? And in the process, I found that doing this show actually helps. So what I want to do now, so we can go here. I want to do the giant face by the moon. That's the video. I just want the image. Thank you. After an ad, look at these games. Terrible. I mean, look at the imagery. What are these? What kind of game are we playing here, folks? Pretty crazy, huh? Let me get rid of this. All right, there's the face. That's my face out by the moon. And that's what my face looks like when we have the book light on and I'm doing some reading to you guys. All right, so we saw a black hole tonight. Okay, we saw a lot of miracles last night, didn't we? If you were here with me last night, we went through the dot to dot. We witnessed a lot of miracles. There's only one person that can show you a true, real miracle. There's only one person who can show you a real, true miracle. Okay? And that person's right there, and he's kind of watching over you from the moon, right? Okay? So there's my face showing up by the moon. You got my face showing up in the clouds. You got my face showing up with a crown over it on Easter. Okay? So when you're seeing this, you're also seeing my face as well. Let me kind of show you how that happened real quick. Another one of our images that we read too. Very important that you guys get this part through your head because it's love is the key. We have this event here that happened. All right, again, with my face showing up in the clouds here, this is my face with a crown. And it's being projected by Jesus' heart here. So let's, what is going on? Are you too far in? Or here, let's go right to there. All right, so there we go. The reason why my face is showing up in the clouds, well, it's part of who I am. Okay, so it's important that you know I love you guys. Okay. Now, we got all our images. We can get rid of the black hole now. And we got our 1, 2, 3. Okay, good. We got our 3 basic images for reading now. Let me get the light going. All right. And where did that go? Put the glossary away here. And let's see here. So we got this right there. This event actually happened. The timestamp on this event when the man took the video was while I was doing my show reading to you guys. So this event took place while the light was shining on my face while I was reading to you guys this segment of the show. Okay, so pretty interesting how the timing fits. Pretty interesting how the timing of all this fits too, huh? Aren't we in the end of days? Don't we seeing all the signs? Isn't his arrival right around now? Aren't we in that time of the rapture, right? We're in that time zone that celestial signpost. So he's got to be around here somewhere, right? Well, he is. You found him. And when you trust me, that makes you part of a very precious family. This is a precious gift that I give you guys. Okay? Do I want to do that right now? Ooh, okay. I guess we gotta do that right now then here. Let me change that for you then, sir. So it goes like that. Alright, I'll give this a shot here. Before we get in there, I just want to pop in here real quick. Hi. See, when I'm looking down like this and I'm reading to you, recognize my face? It's the same one that's right there. See? I didn't shave today, so I would just leave it on my face while I'm reading, but I'm looking a little ugly right now, a little haggard. It's been a long battle. Now, we were talking about some circumstances. And it's important to understand. First, let's all take a break and take a few deep breaths. This stuff is, well, it's deep, it's heavy, it can be disturbing. So it's important that we understand why this is happening so it's not so disturbing. We can take some deep breaths to relieve how deep it really is, okay? And you come back down to a peaceful place, understanding that all these things are challenges, they're circumstances, and that challenging circumstances come and go, but I am constantly with you. I'm writing the storyline of your life through good times and hard times. Oh, there's a storyline of your life through good times and hard times. Isn't there? Isn't there a storyline of your life through good times and hard times? I am writing that storyline of your life through good times and hard times. I can see the big picture. I showed you the big picture last night, didn't I? How can I show you the big picture if I can't see the big picture myself? So if I can see the big picture, that means I'm writing the storyline of your life through good and hard times. I can see the big picture from before your birth to beyond the grave. I know exactly what you will be like when heaven becomes your forever home, and I am continually working to transform you into this perfect creation. Okay? We're working on transformation at this channel, right? We practice these principles, we put them into action so we can see results, and you're continually working on your transformation. Okay? I am continually working to transform you into this perfect creation. Okay? If you can see that face right there, if you can see that face, and you can see these faces right here in the clouds, because other people just see clouds. They don't see anything. They see clouds. They're like, what face? What hair? There's no crown. What are you talking about? It's a bunch of clouds. Other people see this. What are you talking about? There's no Jesus there. I don't see no heart. I don't see. It's just a bunch of clouds. But if you see this, and you see this, and you're able to see that, well, then You are blessed. You have eyes that see. You are the one that I am continually working to transform. You're taking my advice and you're transforming. If you are, then you are royalty in my kingdom. Do you want to be royalty in my kingdom? All you have to do is just kind of watch, follow along, and if you're having troubles, use the tools I give you to help you. Not too hard. I'm actually helping you live easier than you did before because I can see the big picture. I know exactly what you will be like when heaven becomes your home. You're transforming, aren't you? Before you came to this channel, you have transformed since then. You have. You just have. You can't argue it. You have. You have been transformed at this channel. So it was me who transformed you into this perfect creation, and now you are royalty in my kingdom. Rejoice. You guys, royalty. Rejoice. Breathe easy. You are royalty in my kingdom now. Yay, everybody, yay. Breathe a sigh of relief. You're royalty in my kingdom. Everybody else that doesn't see this or hear my voice isn't royalty. What a gift you guys have. Okay, so I have to kind of word this a different way than it usually. The newness of my presence is a glorious treasure that is underrated by most Christians. Okay? Most Christians don't know. They're looking for the rapture. Here's your rapture right here at this channel. Here's your rapture right here at this channel. If you see me in the clouds here and you're caught up, you're intrigued, you're fascinated by me in the clouds, you are caught up with me in the clouds. I love you guys. This is okay. Now, I'm here now. I'm present. The newness of my presence here now. I'm here. It's kind of new. Everybody was waiting. When's it coming? Coming anytime. Coming soon. No, I'm here. The newness of my presence is a glorious treasure. And it's underrated by most Christians. They think, oh, he's alive in the spirit. It can't be a man walking around in a skin suit. They think he's alive in the spirit. You, on the other hand, know I am an actual person who is walking around on this planet. The Word made flesh, not cloud. The Word was made what? Flesh. And what did that flesh do? Oh, it dwelt amongst you. It walked amongst you. Jesus was a man who was in the flesh and walked amongst you. Why would the second coming be any different? Oh, because Hollywood got you thinking it was this. They had you thinking a black hole, you could go through it at the speed of light. What else do I got for you here? Whisper my name. That's whisper. Oh, whisper my name. Okay. Here, watch this, you guys. So we got other stuff right now. We're taking a little quick break from the reading, and we're going. Oh my Lord. Whisper my name. Yeah, I know what you want. I know what you want. You want me to do that, and that's where we're going. I'm just. Help me. What is it called? What is it called again? Oh, that's right. Okay, this is storm footage taken by a storm chaser of a tornado in Florida. Okay, what's going on in this video is the electromagnetic voice print that was left as residue on this video. Okay, this video was shown on the news as well. This is a recording of the audio voice print. It's an electromagnetic voice print from the other side. Okay, but it's what it's saying. So we're gonna kind of play this and see if it captures Brian Knight is coming. Whoops, play it, please. I give you my shield of victory, and my right hand sustains you. I won the ultimate victory through my sacrificial crucifixion and my miraculous resurrection. I did this for you, for all who trust me as Savior God. I accomplished everything. Your part is just to believe. Because what happens if you believe me? Something magical happens, huh? Your part is just to believe. To believe that you need a Savior to pay the penalty for your sins, and that I am the only way of salvation. Okay, we are in the salvage business here. We try to salvage our day. It starts off bad, we got to rescue it. We cannot give up on salvaging our day so we can help someone else salvage theirs. I am the only way of salvation. Your saving faith sets you on a path to heaven. Meanwhile, my victorious shield protects you as you journey through this world. Use the shield of faith to stop the fiery arrows of the devil. When you're in the thick of battle, call out to me. Call out, help me, Lord, I trust in you. And as you live in close dependence on me, my right hand does indeed sustain you, holding you up. I have incredibly great power, yet I use my mighty right hand not only, but to tenderly lead you and help you keep going. Sometimes I even gather you in my arms and carry you close to my heart. You guys right now at this moment, even in replay, are close to my heart. You come here, you like the peace you get, you like the knowledge that you get from this channel, which is dependence on me, right? So as you live in that dependence on me, this little relationship we're building, when you live now, instead of being dead, you're alive now, more vibrantly alive. So as you now live in this close dependence on me, my right hand does indeed sustain you. What else? What? Why? Ooh, okay. Yeah, I see why. That's fine. That's fine. I see. So, I am the champion who perfects your faith. Okay? We just saw that comment in there about your faith. I am the champion who perfects that faith. So you hold on to that faith. That's great. You run with it, and I will perfect it. I will complete it. You don't need you have more than faith. You know. Well, or maybe you do. Do you? Do you know me well yet? Because I am the champion who perfects your faith. And the more problem filled your life becomes, the more important it is to keep your eyes on me. If you gaze too long at your problems or at your troubles in this world, you will become discouraged. So, whenever you're feeling weighed down or disheartened, break free by looking to me. Break free by looking to me. Break free. Look to me. When you're having issues, there's troubles in this world, okay? And when you're having problems and your life is filled and becomes, so full of problems, it's important that you keep your eyes on me. And if you gaze too long at your problems and your troubles, they will become discouraged. They will discourage you. So when you're feeling weighed down and disheartened, break free by looking to me. That's the practice. Take a moment when you're having a conniption and somebody's road raging and you're like the one who's doing it. You take a couple of deep breaths, calm down. Remember, look to me. I will relieve that anxiety, that whatever your situation is, can turn into it's a challenge now. It's more of a it's not a mistake anymore. It's an opportunity. So everything turns into opportunities. Break free. Look to me. I am always with you, so you can communicate with me at any time. Via the Holy Spirit that we were just talking about in the chat. I am always with you because I'm inside you. I'm the Holy Spirit that's inside you, so you can communicate with me at any time and in any situation. So instead of just letting your thoughts run freely, direct them to me. This gives traction to your thinking because your thinking has no traction. It doesn't. We just saw a good example of it here a second ago. Okay, so when you look to me, this gives traction to your thinking, which draws you closer to me. So rest in my embrace for a while. Rest in my embrace. Rest with me for a while, enjoying the nurturing protection of my presence. I have nurturing protection for you. Just by sitting here and listening and looking, you are in my presence. So, that's you resting and enjoying the nurturing protection of my presence. Okay, now, what was the other thing I had? Okay, oh wait, after that, we got, so as you survey the landscape of this broken world, rejoice that nothing can separate you from my love. This promise applies to anything you could ever encounter. So no matter how many bleak things you look to at this time, I am still in control. So no matter how bleak things look, when you see a black hole, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It could be a black hole is bigger than our sun. It does not matter how bleak things may look to you at this time. I am still in control. I, your champion who fights for you, whether you like me, believe me, or not, does not change. I am the champion who fights for you. I scoff at those who think they can defeat me. So remember, my unfailing love surrounds you. My unfailing love out in the air, out in the clouds, does indeed surround you. And remember that. I am the champion who fights for you. I am still in control. Trust in my unfailing love, thanking me for the good you do not see. There is all kinds of good going on that you do not see. The entire spiritual realm is going on, right? And you didn't see it, till I showed it to you, right? So am I right? There are things that you do not see that are going on. Okay. When evil seems to be flourishing in the world around you, it can look as if things are spinning out of control, but rest assured, I'm not wringing my hands helplessly, wondering what to do next. I am still in control, and there is behind the scenes goodness in the midst of the turmoil. You guys are growing stronger, aren't you, behind the scenes? You overcome this, you overcome that, and behind the scenes, you're getting stronger. There, behind the scenes, there's goodness in the midst of the turmoil, isn't there? Isn't there? Okay. If you can do that, you're making progress. Okay. I urge you to thank me not only for the blessings you can see, but for the ones you cannot see. So there were blessings that you could not see before, and you were thanking me for them anyways. Now, guess what you were thanking me for? You're seeing it now. Ooh. You didn't know that was from previous thanks, but your previous thanks from before get you access to seeing this now. I urge you to thank me not only for the blessings you can see, but for the ones you cannot. Okay. Now, no. If I do that right now, they're going to not catch that. I think that might be it. Let's cut on this stack. Oh, here we go. This is, again, more stuff for you guys not about me. All right. So I want you to live close to me, open to me, aware of, attentive to, trusting, and thanking me. Okay. So there's a little list there. First, live close to me. Second, be open to me, an open mind. If your mind is closed to these concepts, you're not going to find it. You will never find it. Unless you are open-minded, you are open to me. You have to have read the Bible to be aware of me. Then when you're attentive to me, that's for your mental health. When you're trusting me, well, now you've trusted me. Okay. Now you've really grown. And then thanking me actually brings good feelings inside of you. So you see how that works? It's not what everybody thinks. Oh, you're going to be doing this. I want you in this audience. That means you are the select few. So when I inflect on that word you, that means you. I want you to live close to me, open to me, aware of, attentive to, trusting, and thanking me. I am always near you, so open yourself fully, heart, mind, and spirit, to my living presence. I am alive and kicking. And when you know that I'm alive and kicking, that's a living presence that frees your heart, mind, and spirit, doesn't it? Haven't you guys found relief now when you look at the news and you can just go, oh man, that would have been stressing me out before, but now I see the bigger picture. It doesn't stress me out so much, right? You know that I'm here. You are aware of my living presence, that I am a real man walking the face of the earth, the Word made flesh. When you trust that I'm telling you the truth, that frees up your heart, your mind, and spirit. And then also feel free to ask the Holy Spirit inside you to help you in this endeavor. There you go. There you go. Who's talking about the Holy Spirit? So here's your answer. Feel free to ask the Holy Spirit to help you in this endeavor. So if you're having issues with trusting and believing me and believing what you're seeing and hearing, I dare you, feel free to ask the Holy Spirit inside of you to help you figure out if I'm telling you the truth or not. I dare you. Because you're going to find out that I am. I am. Seek to stay aware of me as you follow your path through each day. Seek to stay aware of me as you follow your path through each day. So each day we have a path, right? And you're going through your path and you're doing all your plans and you're doing this and blah, 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 and things are going chaotic in your head. Seek to stay aware of me as you follow your path throughout the day. There is never a moment when I am not fully aware of you. Attentiveness involves being alert. Instead of asking smart-ass questions, attentiveness involves being alert. So pay attention, listen carefully, and observe closely. I encourage you to be attentive not only to me, but to the people I bring into your life. Because you're not attentive to the people I bring into your life. You are, but I encourage you to be more attentive not only to me, but to those people I bring into your life. Listen to others with full prayerful attention. Okay? When you're listening to others, don't let it go in one ear and out the other. Pray for full attention. When someone's talking to me and they're, I can see they're in distress and they want to convey a thought, Lord, open my ears. Because I really want to hear what they are saying. I don't want to hear just the words. I want to hear the message. What I want to hear their heart, right? Not the complaints coming out the mouth. I want to dissect the brain and find out what the real issue is. Attentiveness involves being alert, listening carefully, observing closely, because I encourage you to be attentive not only to me, but to the people I bring into your life. Listening to others with your full attention blesses both them and you. What blesses you and them? Listening with full attention, prayerful attention. The Bible is full of instructions to trust me and thank me. And remember, I am totally trustworthy, so it is always appropriate to believe me and my promises. I understand your weakness, and I do help you overcome your unbelief. I do. I help you overcome your unbelief. Don't I? I understand your weakness. I'm here to help you overcome. It's your overcoming every day. It's that salvage work we do every day is the overcoming. Do you guys understand that part? You want to be a professional overcomer? Start practicing these principles of salvaging your day and helping other people salvage their days. That's called salvation. Y'all thought it was something else, huh? Y'all thought salvation... What was the definition of salvation, by the way? Ask yourself, what was your definition of salvation in the first place? What was it that society taught you salvation was? Was it salvaging stuff? What are you supposed to salvage? We are in the salvage business. We turn our day around. I refuse to be, kicked down. If you get kicked around, get back up, wipe it off, and take a minute to pray. Be with me for a moment. Helps calm you down. Ask. I'll tell you, hey, let's go do this. Let's go to the park and look at the river for a minute. If that thought goes through your head, wait, you want me to go to the park and look at the river for a minute? That would be me talking to you. There's a small voice inside your head called your thoughts. You are not your thought. Your thoughts are not your own. You know that, right? You think you're in control of your thoughts, but you're not. Your thoughts are not your own. Listen carefully. Observe closely. Be alert. Be attentive to me and the people I bring into your life. When you're attentive to them, that blesses you and them. A lot of people, okay, I get in this one. You're not Jesus. You're not God. Coming from people who have never read the Bible. Really. These are experts on me. They're experts on me without having read the instruction booklet on who I am. If you read the instruction booklet, it'd be pretty easy to recognize me, huh? You guys don't seem to be having any trouble. The Bible is full of instruction to trust me and thank me. If you'd have read the Bible, you would have known. That's why it was supposed to be in the schools. That's why you guys would have known and recognized this. It would have been a lot easier to do this for me if we'd have trained you in school along the way instead of... I am not happy with mass psychosis of this planet. I am not happy with mass psychosis on this planet. And that's what we have, is a huge case of mass psychosis induced by your schooling and your media. And the media just continues to just shovel poison at you guys. Okay, so back to business here. The Bible is the instruction manual, basic instructions before leaving Earth. That's kind of real, all right? I know it's a cute little synonym or allegory or whatever, but it's true. It's the instruction manual to life. Okay? I am totally trustworthy. I didn't hide this. I didn't keep this information to myself for fear of being killed, because a lot of people that see this kind of activity would never bring it to the forefront. It would make them look crazy. They could put a target on their back. There's so many reasons why you would not show something like this. The ridicule, the blasphemy, or all great stuff. So it takes discipline to bring this forward. I understand your weakness. I help you overcome your unbelief. When you thank me throughout the day, that helps you. And that discipline I was talking about, this discipline of gratitude, helps you receive my joy in full measure. Okay, you want to have joy. It comes with gratitude. You need to make gratitude lists. At first they're kind of hard to do because you got so many niceties that you don't recognize. But say you're homeless for a couple of days out in the bush, all of a sudden you're grateful for a toilet, you're grateful for toilet paper, you're grateful for running water, you're grateful for a roof over your head, a mattress under your butt, a warm blanket, a soft pillow, electricity. Boy, I just named a bunch really quick by putting myself in a homeless situation, right? So there are lots of things, basic things in life that we take for granted. And if you make that gratitude list and you realize what you've got and you're grateful for the little things you've got, that helps you receive my joy in more full of a measure. You see what I'm saying? In full measure. You'll have more joy because you'll recognize the things that you're grateful for. Okay, it's important for your brain. You understand? Your grateful list is important for your brain. You will go complacent and become a whiny, complaining little bitch if you do not realize that you have some things that you need to be grateful for. That's a really important lesson in life. It's like, if you don't figure that one out, you're not going to get very far in life. You will have misery in your life if you're not grateful for stupid little mundane things, because they're not stupid. They're not mundane. They're things to be grateful for. So look at everything small as a gem, and it will make you more joyful, huh? When everything becomes a gem, isn't it more joyful? Oh yeah, it is, isn't it? It's your perspective, man. You guys gotta be grateful for the little stuff. They become gems, and everything becomes joyful. Even your tribulation can be joyful. I enjoy pain. Yeah, I know, it's weird. Okay. I think. Okay, we're going to close with this last one right here. So everybody, nice deep breath. Yeah. You're hanging with your best friend. I'm your big buddy. everybody nicknamed me Big Buddy. So, Big Buddy's chilling with you, and he's trying to help you with your problems because there's some things out there that look daunting in there. I mean, everything at this time of history looks daunting. Even all the little things that you try to accomplish, all your little tasks, too. So when the tasks before you look daunting, refuse to be intimidated. Discipline your thinking to view the challenges as a privilege rather than a burdensome duty. It sounds simple, it's hard to do. So discipline your thinking to view a challenge as a privilege. Okay, it's no longer a challenge. Now it's become a privilege. All right. Okay, let me back this up a little bit. You discipline your thinking to view your challenges as a privilege rather than burdensome. So when you see something that's burdensome, I got to take out the trash. Look at it as a challenge. All right. If I can manage to get that sucker up to the street and back into the house without falling down once or twice, it's a challenge and it's a privilege that I overcame instead of looking at it as a burdensome duty. So the moment you get a burdensome duty and you go, I don't want to do that, stop, take a deep breath, view it as a privilege, as a challenge, rather than the burdensome duty. Because when you do that, you make the effort to replace your I have to mentality with a I get to approach. So instead of, I have to, rewire your brain, I get to. It's you're scoring points. You're privileged. You get to. This is an opportunity to help somebody and score points. So instead of I have to mentality, try to replace it with this new way of I get to now. I'm doing this for the Lord. I get to do this for the Lord. It's not I have to do this for somebody else. No. I get to do it for the Lord. When you view things that way, it makes your life a lot better. Okay? I get to instead of I have to. And this will make all the difference in your perspective, transforming drudgery into delight. What did I just do? I transformed drudgery into delight. Only I can do that. And it's by changing your mentality from I have to I get to. You're doing it for me. Not for the other person. You're doing it for me. So don't go, oh, do I have to? Yeah, you have to. Smile, cheer up, and just do it. And you're doing it for the Lord. Okay, when you realize that you're doing that, it takes drudgery and turns it into delight. Doesn't it? Doesn't it? When you realize it's all for a purpose, oh, you're delighted now. And when you're delighted, it shows that other person your happiness. You don't come off with like, okay, I'll do it. No, you come off as, all right, I would love to do that for you. Huh. It totally turned that whole thing around, didn't it? It transformed drudgery into delight. And this is not a magic trick. Okay? The work still has to be done. Okay? It's not a magic trick. You got to work at it. It's a difference in your perspective. Instead of I have to, I get to. It transforms your drudgery into delight. It's not a magic trick. You still have to do the work. But the change in your viewpoint is what can help you face the challenging chore joyfully and confidently. Okay? Help you guys in your work a little bit, because I know work is getting to you and it's bugging you and it's getting to you and you're like, oh, I have to. No, you don't have to. You get to. Transform the drudgery into delight. Change your viewpoint. It'll help you face challenging chores joyfully. All right, now, when you get there and you get to, as you go about your work, perseverance is essential. If you start to grow weary or discouraged, remind yourself, I get to do this. If you start to grow weary or discouraged, who's out there worried and discouraged? If you're worried and you're weary and you're discouraged, just remind yourself you get to do this. Then thank me for giving you the ability and the strength to do what needs to be done too. So, arduous chore. Do I have to? Wait. I get to. Lord, please give me the strength for this chore. And it goes by so much easier. Instead of just gritting your teeth, going, I hate doing this, I hate doing this. No, you don't have to hate it. It can be transformed into a light by, I get to. And then you get to, so right before you get into the actual chore, a quick little prayer. Lord, give me the strength to do this. And then thank me for giving you the ability and the strength to do what needs to be done. Because that thankfulness, remember, our gratefulness, that thankfulness clears your mind and draws you close to me. Remember that my spirit who lives in you, my spirit who lives in you is the helper. That's the Holy Spirit, the helper. Ask him to help you when you're perplexed. Like now, if you're not sure, if this is too good to be true, you're seeing this and you're hearing my voice and you're not sure, ask the Holy Spirit inside you. It's the helper. Ask him to help you in this endeavor. And then as you ponder the problems and seek solutions, the Holy Spirit will guide your mind. So whatever you do, work at it with all of your heart as for working for me. And you will have happiness. Your drudgery, there won't be drudgery. It will only be delight. I have now turned your drudgery into delight, transforming your viewpoint, making challenging chores joyfully. I get to do this. Your grateful lists. I know it sounds stupid and corny and blah, 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 blah. It's a good reminder. When you just write them down, oh yeah, just that quick little list I did with the homeless thing. A roof over your head, a bed, electricity, running water, a toilet. There are necessities in life, needs, not what you want, fat screen, Wi-Fi. No, there are needs, basic needs, food, water, shelter, heat, clothing, bathroom, stuff like that, your needs. Well, if you have all your needs met, you're lucky, because there are lots of people out that lost their home last week in a tornado, lost their home the day before in a flood, lost their home on this, lost their home. People's worlds are over. Their world is over. They are now homeless, just scraping by until the finish line, right? So if you aren't bleeding out, you've got all kinds of blessings around you. And when you start viewing them as the blessings, they have more value then. All right. It's just your perspective. And I've given you new perspective. You can see now. You can hear now. You can think now. You are not dead in Christ anymore. I have completed your faith. You are now alive in Christ because I am indeed alive and on this earth. This activity follows me everywhere I go. If I came waltzing into your town, you would know it. The word rapture is not in the Bible. It says, when you see this and you see that and you see this, look up. When you look up, you will see me in the clouds. This is me in the clouds. If you see me in the clouds, and it's interesting and intriguing, and you're caught up with me in the clouds, then you have been raptured. If you're here, even on replay, you have met me in the air of cyberspace, YouTube. We're meeting, okay? Hi. You're getting to know me. I know everything about you. You're getting to know me. All right? And that's what we do this show for, is so you get to know me a little bit better and a little bit better, a little bit better each day. We're building trust. You are growing a relationship with your Father, a real one with your real Father, not Hollywood designed special effects graphics. Take the word, twist it, take it out of context, and use it for your own stuff. No. I'm actually physically experiencing this stuff. This is a true story. True story. A real life true story. And it won't make a Hollywood screen, but it makes it on this little YouTube screen. So that's why we do it. Okay? Because it's important for you guys to know I do exist. I am here. You can take comfort in that. You can find peace in that. You can be transformed by that. Your drudgery can be delight if you know that I exist, that I am indeed a man who is walking the face of this planet right now. It's for your mental health. I will be back. I am already back. I was dead, and now I'm alive again. I was gone. I told you I would be back. The signs are all over. I'm telling you I'm back. If you trust me, you are blessed. You see the blessing. You understand the miracle, the magic of trusting me. Others of you who are still working on it, keep working. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Get to know me. This is a relationship. Okay? Trust is built on a relationship. And relationships are built on trust. So we got to do it this way so you get to know me, and then you will indeed be joyful because it's real. I love you guys. I will be back. I am already back, and Brian Knight is still to come. Brian Knight is coming like a lion. You heard the spiritual realm announcing it. The whole universe and all the spiritual realm already know. They're all showing up here to witness it. It's just the last few non-believers on earth that don't know. Otherwise, everybody else kind of figuring it out pretty quick. And how blessed are you to be this close, in this family. I love you all. God bless you all. Until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. Spread the news. Rejoice. I love you all. Bye.